curls, lit a cigarette, and walked.
A great hope for me because when I saw him go into the pros, he was tall and skinny like I was.
He doesn't pass the eye test, but he can play.
Double wing right, ace! That'll cool your ass off.
He stood 6'3" and weighed only 204 as a rookie, the exact size as Jet wide receiver Al Toon. Still, his toothpick legs always got his toothless face to the ball.
Over time now, there's kind of become this understanding that small running backs have an advantage because a lot of times linebackers can't see into the backfield.
Angles and position, he never took the wrong step, and he was always the most focused man on the field.
His height at middle linebacker may have been a positive in the reverse.
Jack was one of those guys that was in on a lot of tackles.
I stuffed it all the way back. He cut and dipped in, went back outside, and was around the corner before I even got off the block.
He may have had a better view of what the offense was doing, and that might explain why he seemed always to be one step ahead of things.
That's what you've got to go over in your mind every single time. When you say 5-2 mo, cover one, and break, you don't go stand at the line of scrimmage and see if there's any pretty girls in the stands over there, okay? You've got to be thinking out here.
His greatest strength was his mind.
And Jack Lambert was a wonderful football player.
There's a big difference between athletes and football players. Lambert had an instinct for the game.
He just seemed to make every tackle.
If that hole was there, he was in the hole, he made the tackle. None better than Jack Lambert to do that.
If the best player in the middle of the field is making all the plays on the best team, maybe this is the best defender in the league.
He just had a relentless competitiveness.
You could see it in his eyes.
Jack Lambert.
Steelers linebacker Jack Lambert was an icon of the Steelers city.
You can be average if you want to be, but if you want to be a great football player, you've got to concentrate and you've got to have the right intensity.
He tried to run through you.
No one wanted to be hit by Jack Lambert, but everybody was hit by Jack Lambert.
A couple times out here yesterday when we were playing, some of you guys, and I got a little bit angry, but I get excited when I play. You got to get excited when you play football. You got to, all right? You got to be excited. If you don't want to get excited out here, then you got to go play tennis or something like that.
Pretty much every play, the quarterback was staring directly at Lambert, who had not only this very scary appearance, but this incredibly active appearance.
He had the look. You know, everybody knows the Lambert look.
We should put dresses on quarterbacks. I made the comment earlier that we should put dresses on quarterbacks. Got a lot of play out of that one, you know. But I meant it.
First snap I ever took. I mean, Jack Lambert's staring across me in Pittsburgh, my first regular season, and Jack Lambert's across, playing middle linebacker. And
quarterbacks couldn't skirt past Lambert, who became a frequent visitor to opposing backfields and a permanent fixture in Steelers lore.
What you've seen of Jack Lambert,
Holy mackerel!
what you've heard about his reputation is all true.
I never looked at professional football as a popularity contest.
He was certainly the most intimidating player on a pretty intimidating team.
Interference! Oh, you asshole!
I never looked at professional football as a popularity contest. I look at it as my job.
Number 58 considered it his job to hit someone on every play.
I don't care that my opponents like me. I care that they respect me, though.
I think sometimes I got the feeling people thought I was a dirty football player, and that always bothered me because I never went out and tried to hurt anybody or anything like that. Now, I could play. I could play any way you wanted to play it. I mean, we had some guys out there that from time to time that wanted to do some things that weren't legal, and I can do that too if I have to. But I'd rather play by the rules and play fairly. But I don't think that you intimidate. You know, there's no cowards out there on that field, buddy.
Lambert had some choice words for Ram running back Wendell Tyler, a full transcript of which is available for mature audiences only.
When one of his teammates received an out-of-bounds cheap shot, Lambert had another job to perform. He raced the length of the bench to exact the punishment. He thought it his duty to teach the Browns a lesson because as a kid he loved them, and they didn't draft him.
But the ferocity that made Lambert both feared and fabled wasn't a complete picture.
Good thing I've got my terrible towel. It sure is, Myron.
He was an enforcer.
Jack Lambert is so mean, he doesn't even like himself.
But it was in Super Bowl X when Captain Jack first earned his reputation as an intimidator and enforcer.
Roy Gerela attempts a field goal and misses it. Cliff Harris, who's rushing, sees the kick go wide.
Gerela just missed his second field goal. Now Lambert's walking by. Here's Harris telling him something and grabs the kicker.
And he pats Gerela on the helmet as if to say, hey, thanks.
It wasn't something that I sat down and planned to do. You know, I didn't think about things out there. I just reacted.
And grabs the kicker, and Lambert at 6'5" works him over. And Lambert at 6'5" works him over.
And he goes back and he grabs Cliff Harris and throws Cliff Harris on the ground.
Jack Lambert was after Cliff Harris.
Jack Lambert kind of put him in his place.
Well, now Lambert's walking by. Here's Harris telling him something.
And the Cliff Harris incident in the Super Bowl out there, I never thought about doing something like that.
Nobody came to Cliff Harris's defense on the Dallas side.
Did it change the energy on the field? Absolutely it did.
But I saw him whacking Roy on the helmet. I turned around, and I just grabbed him and threw him down, and that it just happened just like that.
They became the intimidators again.
And Lambert at 6'5" works him over.
It helped further define what Pittsburgh Steelers football, Jack Lambert, is all about.
He was a guy that was always trying to jaw with other people, but he backed it up.
The Pittsburgh Steelers had won back-to-back titles coming into the 1976 season. But early results suggested their blue-chip Super Bowl stock was headed for a crash. 4 losses in their first 5 games left the Steelers almost lifeless.
I remember after we lost the 4th game, I was sitting there by my locker next to Jack Ham, who dressed by me. And we just looked at each other and said, what is going on?
Reserve quarterback Mike Kruchek took over for an injured Terry Bradshaw against the division-leading Cincinnati Bengals. The turning point was at hand.
We were down to 1 quarterback, and Cincinnati knew it. At least Bo Harris knew it, I guess. And Mike was scrambling, and he ran out of bounds, and Harris gave him a shot. It wasn't a real vicious shot, but it was a pretty good shot. So I went down the line and gave him one back. At that time, all we were trying to do was survive.
The real Steel Curtain answered Lambert's call. What followed was the most amazing defensive streak in modern history, the dimensions of which offer statistical delights to even the most casual football historian.
Well, I brought this book out. I just want to just read something here. I had to look up exactly what we did as a defense. It's real short. I just wanted to read it. After losing 4 of its first 5, the team wins 10 straight. The defense does not allow a touchdown in 22 consecutive quarters, nor in 8 of the last 9 league games, and totally blanks 5 of its last 8 opponents. You know, and I had forgotten how good we were, but that's just incredible football on the part of our defense. And I know that Art Rooney Sr. felt this way, too. The 1976 football team was the best team the Steelers ever had.
We had players with a great deal of pride, great deal of intensity, great deal of confidence, and obviously great ability. And to put that string together was not anything exceptional. It was what we were supposed to be doing. And we were having fun. And it was not a pressure situation necessarily. We told you it would get back on track, and it did.
And we went up there and we crushed them. Totally crushed them. And we were really on a roll. And there was no doubt in our minds that we were going to go all the way. And Oakland had a good team that year, but we knew we could beat them. And then when Rocky and Franco got hurt, it just, you know, it took the wind right out of our sails.
Franco Harris and Rocky Bleier each rushed for 1,000 yards during the '76 season. But in the AFC Championship game, both sat out with injuries.
Never had to play a game where our 2-star running backs were out. And I had made the comment that, you know, give us a 6-pack and we'll go back out and play them again.